Please.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are reading the Bhashyam under 66th shloka, that is Nasti Buddhi Ayuktasya Nacha Ayuktasya Bhavana. So the discussion was about the Prasanna Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi or Prasannata. Prasada Buddhi is that tranquility of mind, that equanimity of mind, that composure arising out of a proper awareness. So that is what is Prasannata. Prasannata is the Nischalatvam and also Nirmalatvam of mind. Nischalatvam is, that is stillness, stability, composure of mind. Nirmalatvam is purity of mind. Both purity and also stability. Both are combinedly called Prasannata, Prasanna Chetaha. So one who is having that Prasada Buddhi, he is also called a Yukta. He is Yukta, he is associated with what? Associated with that Prasada Buddhi. So that is where we are. And we have been seeing that the Indriyas, that is the sense organs, they drag a human being, and it is the mind which is supposed to control the Indriyas. The mind has to control the Indriyas, and only then it will attain that composure. So this last line we have to read. Shantihi upashamaha navidyate ashantasya kutas sukham. Up to that point we have read. Next line we have to read. Indriyanam hi Vishaya seva trushnatah nivrittihi Ya tat sukham Na Vishaya Vishaya trushna Dukkhameva hi sa Na trushnayam satyam Sukhasya gandhamatram utpadyate ityarthaha. Okay. So he says, Indriyanam hi Vishaya seva trushnataha nivrittihi. That is, normal perception of a human being is that when I take something or accept something which is pleasant to the Indriyas, that is giving me sukham, that is giving me happiness. But here we are talking about a higher happiness where this Vishaya Trishna is appears very trivial. Before this Brahmajnana, the Ananda which is associated with Brahmajnana. So Vishaya Seva gives you some temporary Trishna, but it is not going to satisfy or satiate that Trishna. After some time you want to have something more. After some time you want to have something more. And any pleasure, any sense pleasure, it is of that nature. And we have seen that shloka, Najatu kamah kamanam upabhogena shamyati. This kama is something like a fire. The more fuel you put in the fire, the more it glows. The more it, flame comes out of it. So the flame is not satiated by putting one twig or some dried branch of a tree or something. So when you do some havan, the more havis you put, the more flame will come. So it is like that. Kama, the nature of desire is like that. So what is sukham? The sukham is there, real sukham is there only when your mind is capable of restraining and when the mind is capable of withdrawing the senses inwards and look towards the self, look towards the nature of the self. So that is what he is saying here. Indriyanam he means yasmat, because Indriyanam Vishaya Seva Trushnataha Nivrittihi. Vishaya Seva means that is enjoying these sense pleasures. Indriyanam Vishaya Seva Taha, from that Nivritti means withdrawal. That withdrawal, it is that Tat Sukham, that is real happiness. Na Vishaya Trushna. It is not the Vishaya Trushna means the desire where Vishaya is the subject matter. Sense pleasure is the subject matter. Vishaya means where the subject matter of pleasure is sensory impressions or sensory say perceptions. So these things, if this is the subject matter for your happiness, that is not going to give you real happiness. Na Vishaya Trishna. Vishaya Trishna, the desire or longing for some sense pleasures, that is not going to give us the pleasure. Na Vishaya Trishna, dukkham evahi sa. He also clarifies, it only causes dukkham or unhappiness. Na Trishnayam Satyam Sukhasya Gandhamatram Utpadyate. And while that Trishna is there, na Trishnayam Satyam means while that Trishna is there, Trishnayam Satyam means while that Trishna or desire or longing is there, Sukhasya Gandhamatram na Utpadyate. That na has to be added here. Sukhasya Gandhamatram, not even an iota, Gandha, that is just a whiff of something. You just you just see something or just touch something and just you get some small whiff or some what you call some small chinna gandham kuda raledantam. What you say, a small whiff or even an iota of sukham is not there. That even a small quantity of sukham is not there in that. In what? Trishnayam Satyam. While Trishna or longing is there, longing for any sense object is there, you will not even have an iota or even a small whiff of real happiness. Na sukhasya gandhamatram utpadyate ityarthaha. So that is what is this 66th shloka. We will see the 67th shloka. Ayuktasya kasmat buddhihi nasti ityuchyate. So this means ayuktasya, that is somebody who is not associated with this prasada buddhi. Yukta is someone who is associated or who is having that prasada buddhi. Ayukta is someone who is not having that prasada buddhi. And that person, kasmat buddhihi nasti, why his intellect is getting, buddhihi nasti means why he is such a foolish person. Why he is losing his buddhi. Why he, buddhinashat pranashyati, that word also we saw. Why he is losing his buddhi, that is discussed in this present shloka. Why is it so? The reason he is describing. So let us read this shloka. Indriyanam hicharatam yan mano anuvidhiyate tadasya harati prajñam vayurnavamivam bhasi. So he is giving a small example, or rather a small simile. So suppose there is a boat. There is a boat which is in a, say not on a river but in a sea. Or any here of course he does not specify whether it is a sea or a river. The boat is there going in water, and then there is a big gale or a very strong wind, a sort of tempest type of situation. And then you are trying to go in a particular direction, whereas this gale or strong wind, it pushes you in a totally different direction. You want to go somewhere, whereas this strong wind, it takes you or pushes you into a different direction. So our spiritual journey is something like this, traveling in a boat in water, while that boat is being rocked here and this way and that way by the waves, and then the boat is also being pushed this in whatever direction it wants, pushed by this gale or strong wind. So all these indriyas, these are the things which are dragging. This is like the strong gale. The force from this indriyas, the force from these sense organs is or the temptation of this, let us say use the word temptation. The temptation from these indriyas is something like this strong wind which pushes or distracts the course of a ship or a boat. So that is the example here. So it is another example is given. The other example was given was that of a chariot and horses. A chariot is there. You tie about 5-6 horses to that. Each horse pulling in a separate direction. They are not going in unison, and they are not going according to the control of the charioteer. And then they drag, and then the chariot and the charioteer go as and how they are being dragged by the horses. So this is another example, that is a boat which is being rocked here and there to and fro by the winds, and then sent in a or pushed in a wrong direction. So the meaning of this shloka is like this: Indriyanam hi charatam yan manaha anuvidhiyate. Indriyanam hi charatam means while the indriyas they go, or while the indriyas go to the sense objects. Chara dhatu we saw in an earlier shloka, Vishayan indriyais charan we saw. Chara dhatu means gati bhakshanayoh. It means movement and also eating. Chara dhatu has two meanings, that is moving, charati. Charati also means eating. So, Indriyanam hi charatam means while the Indriyas are enjoying the sense objects, while the Indriyas are going and touching the sense objects, if the mind also accompanies them, anuvidhiyate, it also accompanies, it moves after that. So, that is like a situation where a boat is being rocked this way and that way and pushed aside. Tadasya harati pragyam, that sort of movement, if the mind follows, if the mind accompanies the indriyas which are going after sense objects, that act of following the indriyas, it will take away its prajna, it will take away its intellect or discrimination, just as the strong wind takes away the direction and pushes the boat in a different direction. So that is the general overall meaning of this shloka. If you see the words, Indriyanam hi charatam. He means yasmat, because whenever this he comes, he is giving a reason. Because, so that is the meaning. Indriyanam charatam means while the indriyas are going, while the indriyas are enjoying the sense objects. The full sentence is Indriyanam charatam satam. So Indriyanam charatam means while the indriyas are moving. Yat manaha anuvidhiyate. Yan mana is yat plus manaha, anu plus vidhiyate, anuvidhiyate. The mind which, yan manaha means the mind which, anuvidhiyate, accompanies. Anu means behind. Anuvidhiyate, it also accompanies. The mind, it is something like a boss, it is something like a leader. The leader is supposed to control the masses. Instead of that, the leader is being led by the masses. In fact, that is what we see also. Our leaders, they say, no, I want to change my party because my followers want to change. My followers are going in a particular direction. So I have to respect the sentiments of my followers. So basically this man has no ideology, this man has no siddhanta, this man has no principles or anything like that. So as and how the masses move, this man also changes his philosophy, he changes his doctrine, and then he goes along with them. So like that, instead of a leader leading the masses, instead of leader explaining to people what is good and what is bad, so that is the tragedy. That is the tragedy of our democracy now in India at least. We do not know about other places. In India at least. In fact, Raghuvamsha, I think some time ago I quoted one shloka. The king's duty is also to give some sense of morality, put some sense of morality in the minds of the people. The king is something like a father. Just as a father disciplines a child, the king, or now that the king is not there, the government, whoever is the ruler, it is the duty of the ruler to see that the people behave in a moral and ethical way. There is a shloka from from this Raghuvamsha. Sapita pitarastesham kevalam janmahedavaha prajanam vinayadhanat rakshanat bharanadapi. So Raja, the king or a government or a ruler has three responsibilities. That is prajanam vinaya adhanat. So he has to inculcate sense of ethics, inculcate a sense of ethical conduct. If ethical conduct is not there, if you are only looking after their material comforts and if you are only giving them some doles and things like that, then what is happening to, what about their ethical sense? Who is going to guide them? So that is what is the responsibility of a king. The king has to establish some structures, he has to establish some systems where this ethical conduct is inculcated. Prajanam vinayadhanat rakshanat. Then the protection of these people from any external onslaught. So that has to be there. The third one is bharanat. That is, if the fellow is a poor fellow, the king has to supplement something. If there is a very rich man, he has to collect some taxes and then see that the poor man is given something to eat. So that is bharanam. Bharanam is, we also have the word in Telugu, bharanam. So that is basically to sustain. Some sustenance has to be given to poor people. So these three responsibilities of a king or a government, any government is there, but unfortunately we keep on giving doles and we corrupt people. Nowadays in India we have corrupted people very successfully. Very successfully we have corrupted people. If there is some sort of flood, even if your house has not got any damage, then you will claim some compensation for a damage which has not taken place. Thousands of people, they claim damages for compensation for damages which have not taken place, and all the leaders, they assist in that. All the leaders, they fight and see that some compensation is given. So that is how we have corrupted the people over a period of time. The leaders got corrupted, the people also we have corrupted. So anyway, the mind is the boss, the mind is the leader. This is supposed to control the indriyas. So instead of that, the mind also accompanies. So that is what is. Then the prajna is taken away. Like the prajna of our leaders is taken away. The prajna of this gentleman, this sadhaka, is taken away like the boat which is being distracted or sent in a wrong direction by the strong hurricane. So that is it. Yat manaha anuvidhiyate tat asya. Tad asya is tat plus asya harati prajnam vayuhu navam iva ambhasi. Vayur navam eva ambhasi. You have to split it as vayuhu navam. Navam is in dvitiya vibhakti. Ambhasi iva. Iva is that upama vachakam we call it. Iva means like. Ambhasi means ambhas is water. Ambhasi is saptami vibhakti, in waters. The boat in waters. Navam iva ambhasi. The boat in water. So that is it. Let us read the bhashyam. Indriyanam iti. Okay. Indriyanam hi yasmat charatam swasva vishayeshu pravartamananam yan manaha anuvidhiyate anupravartate tat indriya vishaya vikalpanena pravrittam manaha asya yatehe harati prajnam atmanatma vivekajam nashayati. Okay. Indriyanam hi yasmat, he means yasmat, indriyanam charatam. These indriyas are moving or enjoying what? Swasva vishayeshu. Each indriya has a particular vishaya. Like Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, these 5 types of sense objects are there for 5 types of senses. So Swasva vishayeshu means in their own objects, in their own. Swasva means in their own sense objects. Swasva vishayeshu pravartamananam, as they are going after them. Yat manaha anuvidhiyate. Yat manaha, the mind which anuvidhiyate means anupravartate. It goes behind. Anupravartate, it goes behind. Tat, that act of following. Indriya vishaya vikalpanena pravrittam manaha. That sort of manas, that sort of mind. What type of mind is that? Indriya vishaya vikalpanena pravrittam. So this indriya vishayas, there are so many vikalpas in that. We know what is a vikalpa. Vividham kalpayati iti vikalpaha. So today you find some attractive thing, tomorrow you find another attractive thing, you go to this Walmart, you see this beautiful thing, you go to some other place, you see some other beautiful thing. So every day you find something new, something attractive and something strange, and you visualize so many new things and you visualize so many new benefits. The advertisers, they give so much of publicity that even if you don't need a thing, they create a need in your mind. So that is what the advertisement is supposed to do. Though it is not a necessity, they make us feel that it is a necessity. So like that, Vishaya Vikalpanena, Vividham Chintanena, you visualize so many things, so many good things about it. Vikalpanena Pravrittam Manaha. The mind also, it starts releasing, it starts enjoying all those things. So when that is the situation, tat asya means asya yatehe, for this sadhaka. Asya means for this person. Who is this person? This sadhaka or the seeker. For this seeker, prajnam atmanatma vivekajam nashayati. Prajnam nashayati. Prajna is, what is prajna? Pra plus jna. Jnanam is jnanam, we know. Prajna is prakarshena, that is, this is intellect. Pra is, it is an addition, it enhances the meaning of a say dhatu. Pra is an upasarga which actually enhances the meaning of a dhatu. Prajnam Atmanatma Vivekajam. That is, Atmanatma Viveka is there. So, what is the real and what is unreal? That Viveka, that sense of discrimination. That sense of discrimination has generated some prajna. It has generated some attitude. It has generated some sort of, composure in a person. So, that sort of prajna. That prajna which is born out of, or prajna which has arisen out of this proper discrimination of what is real and what is unreal. Atma, Anatma, Viveka, Ja. Viveka Ja means that is born out of this Viveka, born out of this discrimination between what is real and what is unreal. That sort of prajna it gets hijacked. Harati. Harati means it takes away, drags away. It drags away Atmanatma Vivekajam Prajnam Nashayati. It destroys. How? Katham? How? Vayuhu Navam Iva Ambhasi Udake Jigamishatam Samyatrikanam Margad Udhrutya Unmarge Yatha Vayuhu Navam Pravartayati Evam Atmavishayam Prajnam Hrutva Manaha Vishayam Kalpanam Karoti. Kalpanam Karoti. Okay, here the same simile which we discussed now. Vayuhu Navam Iva. Vayu is wind. Navam Iva. Just as Iva means just as Vayuhu Navam. Just as the wind shakes or disturbs or diverts the Nava. Nava is a boat. Navam. Where Ambhasi Udake. Ambhasi is Udakam. That is then whom Jigamishatam Samyatrikanam. Jigamishatam. That is people who are desirous of going in a way. Jigamisha means Gantum Ichcha. That is a Sananta. It is called a Sananta. Gantum Ichcha is Jigamisha. Bhoktum Ichcha Bubhuksha. Gnatum Ichcha Jignasa. So this Ichcha Vachakam. And that is I desire to know. That is Jignasa. I desire to eat. That is Bubhuksha. I desire to go. That is Jigamisha. So these are called Sanantas. So here Jigamishatam Samyatrikanam. Some passengers. Some people who are there in the boat. So those people, they want to go in a particular direction. Margat Udhrutya. So it uproots their course, and the Udhrutya means it takes away. Margat Udhrutya. It takes away from the original course, and then Unmarge Yatha Navam Pravartayati. Unmarge, in a wrong direction. Unmarga. Unmarga is Ut plus Marga, Unmarga. That is, Unmarga is in a wrong direction. Unmarge Navam Pravartayati. It directs the Nava. Pravartayati means it directs. What? The Vayu. The strong gale or hurricane directs this Nava or a boat in a totally wrong direction. So, Navam Pravartayati. Evam Atma Vishayam Pragnam Hrutva. So, this Prajna which is arising out of this Atma Jnana, this Prajna or some sort of composure or Prasada Buddhi which has arisen, so that will be distracted. That will be distracted if the mind starts accompanying the Indriyas. So, this Atma Jnana is something which it is not enough if you once know it theoretically. Once you know theoretically and now you say I am happy, it does not mean Indriya Jaya. It does not mean Mano Jaya. There are two things, Indriya Jaya and also Mano Jaya. Indriya Jaya is possible by the mind. Mano Jaya, it has to be cultivated over a period of time. This Mana is something which has to be conquered over a period of time. In fact, our Siddhanta is we are not about to change others. We are supposed to change ourselves. That is another point which we have to note. But basically, what do people say they do? They want to convert anybody. You have to. So the whole world has to be converted into this particular religion or that particular religion. That is where all the fights are going on. Whereas our Siddhanta, or our Vedanta, or our Dharma, it talks about converting one's own mind, converting oneself. So removing all this Ragadvesha, getting rid of all this Ragadvesha and looking at everybody as something which is a Brahma. So that is our Siddhanta. Our Siddhanta is to convert oneself and not converting others. So here Atma Vishayam Prajna, this sort of Atma Vishaya Prajna is taken away, it is distracted by what? Hrutva Manaha Vishaya Vishayam Kalpanam Karoti. This mind starts thinking about, starts relishing this sense object. Vishaya Vishayam Kalpana. It's not only looking at it, it is also doing some kalpana. It is also imagining, suppose I have this, I will be so happy. The mind keeps on building up castles in the air. So castles in the air, we know. Castle in the air is something, it's a mano kalpana. Manorajya Vijrumbhanam, that's what they say. So this sort of building up castles in the air and then starts relishing it, I will do like this, I will do like this. So this sort of kalpana, it keeps on going and then the mind gets distracted because of this indriya pravrutti. So that is it. Vishaya Vishayam Kalpanam Karoti. Okay. This is the end of this Bhashya. Next Avatarika. Yatato hyapi ityupanyasya no ityupanyasta iti upanyastasya arthasya anekadha upapatti muktva upapattim uktva tam uktva upapattim uktva tam cha artham upapadya upasamharati tasmad iti. Okay. Yatato hyapi ityupanyastasya arthasya. So yatato hyapi is referring to the earlier shloka. Yatato hyapi kaunteya, that is referring to 60th shloka. The 60th shloka says Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipashyitah. There are two things given there. So there is one seeker who is making tremendous effort. He is also Jnani. So he is not only a Jnani, he is also making effort. So there is an effort and also Jnana, wisdom, both are there. Even in such a case, Indriyani Pramathini, they are such dangerous things. Pramathini, they just churn inside. I was giving the meaning of that word Manmatha. Manaha mathnati iti Manmatha. The mind, it is churned as though it is totally shaken from inside by this so-called Cupid or Manmatha, that is the desire. That is, who is Manmatha? The embodiment of desire. Embodiment of desire. In our Puranas, of course, Manmatha is a man-woman relationship. In that particular Kama only it is mentioned. But Cupid also is in that direction. But embodiment of desire means a desire may be for money, desire may be for power. There we don't call Manmatha. Manmatha is a desire where only for the other member of the opposite sex. So that is it. Indriyani Pramathini. So that is where we started discussing the role of Indriyas. We started discussing how dangerous these Indriyas are and how the mind has to control them. So Yatato hyapi upanyastasya arthasya. Upanyasta means that which has started. He started proposing something. He started postulating something. So whatever has been postulated starting from the shloka Yatato hyapi. Whatever has been postulated, commencing from the shloka Yatato hyapi, ityartasya anekadha upapatti muktva. So he has given lot of supporting arguments, many. Anekadha means in several manners. Anekadha in different ways. Upapatti is a supporting argument, logic. Upapatti basically means a supporting logic. Reasoning, let us say reasoning. Upapattim uktva, so he has given lot of reasoning as to how these indriyas are, they function, and then how the mind is supposed to control them, all those things. Upapattim uktva, tam cha artham upapadya upasamharati. So that the same meaning he is reiterating. Upapadya, he is again reiterating, and then upasamharati, he is concluding. He is concluding by reiterating the same thing, all this reasoning which he has given earlier. Starting from the shloka, Yatato hyapi kaunteya, starting from 60th shloka, he has discussed the role of the indriyas. So, tasmad iti. Let us read the shloka. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigruhitani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. So he is just giving a concluding line. So what he says is, O Mahabaho, O you strong armed man. Mahabaho means one who is having very, very strong arms, which means You are not only a person having strong arms, you are also a person who is supposed to have a strong mind. It is not enough if you have a strong bahu, you are also supposed to think. So some sort of implication. He Mahabaho, that is the address. He Mahabaho, Indriyani Indriyarte Tasmad Yasya Nigruhitani Sarvashaha Indriyani. One whose Indriyas have been controlled from in all ways, in all directions. That means from all types of temptations, from all types of things, from all types of sense objects. That man's prajna can be said to be pratisthita. That person is supposed to have a composure of mind. That person is supposed to, he can be told as having this prasada buddhi. So that is the general meaning of that line. You see the words, tasmat, he Mahabaho, that is address. Tasmat means because of that. Yasya means of that person. Of which person? Indriyani Sarvashaha Nigruhitani. Indriyani is in the second line. Indriyani means the plural of indriyas, that is sense organs. Sarvashaha, that is in all ways, in all manners. Nigruhitani, which have been kept under control. Nigraha, we know. Nigraha is withdrawal. Nigraha. Indriya Nigraha, that word we use it. Indriya Nigraham is a very, very common word we use in Telugu also. So Indriyani, from where? Nigruhitani, from where? Indriyarthebhyaha, from the sense objects. From the sense objects. Tasya prajna pratisthita. The splitting of the words also is very simple. Tasmat, therefore, yasya mahabaho nigruhitani sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyaha tasya prajna pratisthita. Let us read the bhashyam. Indriyanam pravruttau दोषः उपपादितः यस्मात् तस्मात् यस्य यतेः हे महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः सर्वप्रकारैः मानसादिभेदैः इंद्रियाणि इंद्रियार्थेभ्यः शब्दादिभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. So a very, very brief commentary by Shankaracharya. In one line he has completed the commentary also. So he says, Indriyanam pravruttau doshaha upapaditaha yasmat. That is because the Indriyanam pravruttau dosha has been upapadita, means dosha or say, what do you say, what can we translate for dosha? Dosha is something, a defect. Okay, this defect has been postulated. Dosha means a defect or something which is wrong. That has been postulated. Upapaditaha means it has been postulated, it has been propounded, it has been described. Let us say upapadita, it has been explained by proper reasoning. Upapatti we have seen. Upapatti means a proper reasoning. Upapaditaha means that which has been presented to us by proper reasoning. So dosha upapaditaha, indriyanam pravruttau dosha upapaditaha means this moving after the sense organs is something which is a defect, which is basically a defect of the mind. So that has been postulated here. Dosha means the defect of the mind. The defect of the mind has been postulated here. Because of that, yasya yatehe he mahabaho nigruhitani, that means controlled, sarvashaha sarva prakaraihi. Sarvashaha we saw, that is from in all manners. What is it? All manners means what is it? So he also says manasadi bhedaihi. Manasa, vachika, kaika. We say trikarana shuddhi. We generally say there is a trikarana shuddhi. In whatever we do, there should be trikarana shuddhi, we say. Trikarana. Three karanas. What is a karana? Karana means say a tool, an implement. What is that tool or implement? Manas is one tool. Vak is one tool. Then our own action is one tool. Manasa, vacha. Vacha means by vak. Karmana, by our action. So these three are the three types of tools. So there should be trikarana shuddhi. Trikarana shuddhi means whatever you think, you should speak. And whatever you speak, you should do. So that is the nature of a good person. Manasyekam, Vachasyekam, Karmanyekam, Mahatmanam. There is a line like that, there is a Subhashita, Manasi Ekam. Manas, you have one thing. Vachasi Ekam. Vachasi means in the walk. You should have the same thing in walk also. Walk means voice. That is my speech. Walk means not English WLK walk, but speech. Then karmani ekam, in the karma or in action also you have to do the same thing. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam. For mahatmas, for people who are great souls, they think the same, they talk the same, they do the same. Whereas manasyanyam, vachasyanyam, karmanyanyam, duratmanam. For a duratma or a bad person, so he has something in the mind, says something else and does something else. So that may be diplomacy, but that is a duratma. Diplomacy at a statecraft, at the level of statecraft it may be okay, but at personal level that is not correct. Statecraft level, okay, in the interest of the nation as a person, an ambassador may be lying abroad, an ambassador may be telling lies abroad. But then here in day-to-day transaction at our level, that should not be there. That diplomacy is something which is a duratma's behavior. So, Maitato Hyapikante, they say this Sarva Prakaraihi Manasadi Bhedaihi. So, in all matters, Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, the mind does not go in that direction. The mind does not, you don't talk about them, you don't indulge in them, you don't think about them. So, that means all Sarva Prakaraihi, in all manners, Indriyani Indriyarthebhyaha Shabdadibhyaha. From all these types of Shabda and all these things, Indriyani Nigruhitani. Tasya prajna pratisthita. Tasya means of that person, prajna, intellect, is pratisthita. Pratisthita means he is having a proper composure, he is having that prasada buddhi. So one can say or one can certify that a person whose say all his indriyas have been kept under control, and one for sarva prakarahi manasadi bhedai manasa vacha karmana, he is totally controlling his indriyas. So that man's prajna is said to be composed. That man is said to be having an equanimity of mind. So that is the meaning here. Next line, next avatarika. Yoyam laukikaha vaidikascha vyavaharaha.
Yoyam laukikaha vaidikascha vyavaharaha.
Samutpanna viveka jnanasya.
Samutpanna viveka jnanasya.
Sthita prajnasya.
Avidya
कार्यत्वात् अविद्या निवृत्तौ निवर्तते अविद्यायाश्च विद्या विरोधात् निवृत्तिः इत्येतदर्थं स्फुटीकुर्वन् आह या निशा इति. So this is again a very famous shloka. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani. We are going to see one very famous shloka, very oft quoted shloka. For that the avatarika is like this. Yoyam, then this, all the while we have discussed, we have talked about the role of the mind, the role of the indriyas. So then, then what is the status of all this karma kanda which is described in the Vedas? So this a slight switching over or a slight corollary from what we have discussed. This is not a totally new subject. It is coming as a sort of corollary, as a sort of follow-up, as a sort of derivation from what all we have discussed here. So this laukikaha, vaidikaha, vyavaharaha is there. There is a day-to-day transaction. Laukikaha, vyavaharaha. Lokasya ayamiti laukikaha. Laukika means loka, that which is connected with this loka, that which is connected with our transactional world, that is what is called laukika. Then vaidikaha, there are two types of vyavahara for any person, that is a laukika vyavahara and a vaidika vyavahara. Vaidika vyavahara is that dharma pravrutti, you are doing some yajna, you are doing some puja, you are doing something else which is described in the Veda. So that is a vaidika pravrutti. So this sort of vyavahara, then samutpanna viveka jnanasya sthita prajnasya nivartate. Then all these things, even earlier we saw, all the activities, all the karmas, they are at the level of avidya. So long as you are in this world, so long as you are not a jnani, you have to observe all this code of conduct. Once you are a jnani, you go above this. In fact, the Upanishad also calls such a person Ati Varnashrami. I have told this word also earlier. Ati Varnashrami means he goes beyond the rules and regulations of this Varna and Ashrama. Varna and Ashrama, they prescribe some regulations. They prescribe some rules and regulations. So the person of this Varna, it is his Dharma, it is the Dharma of this Varna is like this. The Dharma of this particular Ashrama. Ashrama is, Brahmacharya is an Ashrama. Then Gruhastha, the Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, these are ashramas. Varna is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, etc. So for all these people and all these ashramas, this is the prescribed dharma. So this sort of dharma is there, which is for an ajnani, so long as the man has not attained that Brahmajnana. So in fact, all these rules and regulations, they have to be observed, no doubt. Without observance of these things, there is no social order. In order to see that, or in order to ensure that a proper social order is there, our people had put up some things. But a person who moves away from this, a person who is an Atmajnani, Atmajnana is not something which is restricted to one community. This again and again we have to keep in mind, again and again we have to say that Atmajnana or realization or moksha is not something which is earmarked only for a Brahmin or only for a Kshatriya or anything like that. Manushya matraha adhikaraha. That is what we saw here. That is what we see in Suta Purana. There is one thing called Suta Samhita. Suta Samhita is a very huge book from which lot many essential passages have been extracted, and Swami Tattvavidananda, he has written a book called Suta Samhita Saraha. I think he has taken out about 3,000 to 4,000 shlokas from that. Suta Samhita Sara, it is available in the bookstalls also. So this Suta Samhita is supposed to have been studied by Shankaracharya 18 times. Tam ashtadashatha vilokya. So 18 times the Shankaracharya is supposed to have studied that Suta Samhita, and then he is supposed to have written his Bhashya, this Brahma Sutra Bhashya, Gita Bhashya, etc. So Suta Samhita is something which is so famous. In those days, for all our ancient, for all our say a generation ago, people used to read Suta Samhita, Yoga Vasistham, all these things invariably. Now, of course, Yoga Vasishtha is a tough text, but Suta Samhita is a fairly easy text. Suta Samhita, it gives how really egalitarian our attitude was, how really egalitarian and how much of interest for everybody, for uniting the society. You have to keep, there is a twin objective for Dharma. Dharma is supposed to evolve some structure which keeps the society intact. But at the same time, there is an equality. The main criticism by our short-sighted intellectuals, the people who do not read our own books, the people who never have heard the name of Suta Samhita, who never read Gita, so they say there is no spiritual equality in India. But there is, if only you read that Suta Samhita, you will see that everybody is entitled for Atmajnana. Unfortunately, the people who were say the so-called protectors of Dharma, that is the Brahmin community, they themselves have forgotten reading the books, and then they think that they are the custodians and they are the custodians of all these Vedas and all that. It was not so. It was not so. Unfortunately, this fellow also does not read. A few people, they just know by heart, that is the Veda Pandits and people like that, they also do not know the meaning of what they chant. So that is the unfortunate situation we are in by totally forgetting our own books. So anyway, Laukikaha Vaidikasya Vyavaharah Samutpanna Viveka Jnanasya Sthita Prajnasya Avidya Karyatvat Nivartate. All this thing, this Laukika Vyavahara and Vaidika Vyavahara is at the level of Avidya. It is all Avidya Karyam. Avidya Karyam, in what manner is Avidya Karyam? Avidya Karyam means, what is Avidya Karyam? That which is the effect of Avidya. Avidya is the Karanam. Avidya Karyam is this Laukika Vyavahara. This Laukika Vyavahara or Vaidika Vyavahara is an effect of this Avidya or ignorance or Ajnana. Because all this, if we go back to that original concept, this Brahma, a manifestation in Brahma is this Maya, and in this Maya, which is otherwise called Avidya, these three gunas, and because of these three gunas, you see diversity, you see Bheda. So this is all Avidya Karya. all the diversity or bheda buddhi, what we have, is only an avidya karya. So that is what is it. That is what he is saying. So,
You may want to show the slides here.
slides, we will come to that. I'll come to that. The slide you can put, not now, I'll just tell you. Once we go to the bhashyam. So, avidya karyam, that is the effect or the result of ignorance, is this laukika vaidika vyavahara. But this ignorance we can't totally discard, because it is this ignorance which is maintaining this social stability. Because the rules may be foolish, but these rules are required basically to say keep the society in order. So that is how we have to understand the role of this laukika and vaidika dharma. Otherwise there will be chaos. Otherwise there will be total chaos and disorder in society. So yoyam laukikaha vaidikascha vyavaharaha samutpanna viveka jnanasya. That is, samutpanna viveka jnana means one who has the one in whom that viveka has arisen. That viveka and prajna has arisen, or it has samutpanna means something which has arisen. Somebody who has acquired that jnana, and who he can be otherwise called sthita prajnasya avidya nivruttau nivartate. So once that avidya goes, this laukika vaidika vyavahara also goes. Only in that plane this laukika vaidika vyavahara is there. Avidyayascha vidya virodhat nivrittihi. Avidya again goes away only when you have that proper vidya or proper say atma jnana. Ityetam artham sputi kurvan aha. So ityetam artham sputi kurvan means clarifying this idea, or explaining or emphasizing. Sputi kurvan, sputi karana is emphasizing, clarifying. So he is telling about the the overall purport of this next shloka, that is Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. The overall purport of this shloka is the laukika and vaidika vyavahara is at avidya level, and this laukika vaidika vyavahara will go away, will disappear once there is Atma Jnana. So that is the purport of this thing. Okay, let us read this shloka. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. So the general meaning of this is like this. Words are very simple, and though we have to understand and then we have to think about them a lot, we have to actually to internalize the meaning is very, very important. But the words are very simple, but the meaning is very deep, and then we have to think and speculate on that, do a lot of mananam. So ya nisha sarva bhutanam, ya, that is that one sarva bhutanam nisha. For everybody else it is like something like nisha. What is nisha? Nisha is ratri, night is nisha. So that which is a dark for others, that which is a night for others, that which is totally something which is inscrutable, let us say. That which is inscrutable means that you cannot know, you cannot understand anything in that. So that which is inscrutable for others, there in that situation, tasyam means in that situation, samyami jagarti. Samyami means the wise man, samyamaha. Samyama, you know, samyama, sam plus yama. One who has control of his mind, control of his senses, control of his mind, samyami. Samyama, we saw that dhyana, dharana, samadhi, all three put together, it is called samyama. And one who has that prasada buddhi, so he is a samyami, a wise man, a sthita prajna. So is this sthita prajna, he is awake in a situation where all other people, they feel it as dark. All other people, they think that it is dark, it is unscrutable, it is something which is unknown, it is an unknown territory for them. So in that unknown territory, this wise man, he is fully awake. He is able to understand. He is able to see things there. He is able to see light where all other people see total blankness. So suppose some MSc mathematics or something, some PhD mathematics, they are written here. It is something inscrutable to us, something which you can't make out anything. Okay, except E is equal to or plus or minus or something like that, you can't make out anything. So, for ordinary people, that is something which is nisha. For an ordinary man, if you write some PhD mathematics here, for me it is total darkness, it is total nisha, total ratri. But for a PhD student, it is a very bright idea. He will be seeing, oh, how bright this idea is, how elegant solution this is. So he will be thinking like that. So this is the comparison. So what is totally inscrutable for unknown for an ordinary man? What is that? This Brahmagyana. So replace this PhD mathematics with Brahmagyana. So this Brahmagyana is something which is inscrutable, unknown, unintelligible, let us say, for an ordinary person. But then for that Jnani, it is something which is very interesting. That Jnani is supposed to make out a lot of meaning. That Jnani is fully able to relish, understand that. So that is the meaning of the first line. What is this? Whatever is this darkness for everybody, that is something which is very understandable, very intelligible. That is a sort of daylight. The Jnani can see it as a daylight, whereas this the fool, the common man, is looking it as darkness. Now you can put that thing also. First slide. So this first slide is there. Okay. Atma Tattvam is night. Atma Tattvam, this what I said PhD mathematics, let us say Atma Tattvam. This Atma Tattvam is something like a night, something which is where you cannot find anything, you cannot understand anything. So that is night for ordinary people, for an Ajnani. Not only one Ajnani, but several Ajnanis, let us say, for common people, for everybody, not only one Ajnani. So they cannot see anything in that. Sarva Bhutanam Avivekari, that's what Shankaracharya is going to say for all other beings. It is something which is something like a dark. And then next line, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. And then Bhutani means all other beings. Yasyam Jagrati, in which they keep awake. Where do they keep awake? All other people keep awake in some pubs, some bars, some discos or something else. People are keep awake, they are very happy in that. There, if you put some PhD scholar, he may not relish it. Suppose somebody who is very seriously dedicated to his studies, and then he is doing his own tapas and things like his own study like a tapas, you keep a scientist there, so he may not relish this thing. What some all other people who are enjoying these pubs, dances and things like that, a good student may not relish it. So this is, let us take this, it's a very, suddenly some comparison has come to my mind. Anyway, it may or may not be so well fitting, but that can be the example. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, a situation where, Yasyam means a situation in which Jagrati Bhutani, Bhutani Jagrati, Bhutani means all other beings, they keep awake, they relish, they enjoy, so they enjoy all sensory pleasures and whatnot. So in that, Sa Nisha Pashyataha Munehe. Pashyataha Munehe means for one who is actually seeing that, who is having that darshana, who is having that Atma Darshana. Pashyati. Pashyati means he sees. What is this Pashyati? One who is having proper darshana, one who is having proper enlightenment, one who is having proper understanding. So one who has a proper understanding, he looks at them as something which are foolish. For him, it looks dark. It looks everything which is all dark, and then he cannot make out because he does not have that Bheda Buddhi. So he is having an Advaya Buddhi. So the difference here in this shloka is the Bheda Buddhi on one hand, Advaya Buddhi on another hand. Dvaita Buddhi versus Advaita Buddhi. So Dvaita Buddhi, where people relish all things, it is something which is dark for a wise man. And then this wise man is seeing, he is having an Advaya Buddhi. That Advaya Buddhi is something which is dark, which is something which is inscrutable, which is something like a night for foolish people. So that is the general meaning of the shloka. Is it clear? Remember PhD mathematics. PhD mathematics is something which is inscrutable for a common man. But then for a student of PhD, it is something which makes sense, and then not only makes sense, it is something which is really bright. So like that, Atma Tattvam is something which is inscrutable for an Ajnani, which is unknown for an Ajnani, it is night for an Ajnani. And just as day appears dark for, he is also giving, Shankaracharya, of course, he is giving one comparison again. Once we go into Bhashyam, we will read that. Let this thing you can switch over. Then, the shloka, I gave the general meaning of the shloka. If you see the words, let us see the words. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Ya means that one. Then what is this Ya? That Atma Tattvam, Paramartha Tattvam. Sarva Bhutanam, for all other beings, Nisha, that is like a night. Tasyam means in that. Samyami means that Jnani. Jagarti means he keeps awake. Jagarti is present tense. Jagarti, Jagru dhatu. Jagru means Nidrakshaye. Jagru Nidrakshaye is the dhatu. So that say that Jagarti is third person singular. Third person is he. Third person singular is Jagarti. Jagarti, then Jagrutaha, Jagrati. That is how that dhatu, that declension is there. So this second line, Yasyam Jagrati. Jagrati is plural. The same third person plural. They keep awake. Jagarti is he keeps awake. Jagrati means they keep awake. So you have to see the dhatu, the same dhatu. Third person singular is in the first sentence, third person plural is in second sentence. Yasyam, that is in a situation where, or in a state where, Bhutani Jagrati, that is this pubs and all these things, pubs, discos and all types of dances and things like that. So there where people keep awake, that is a sort of darkness for a wise man. Sa Nisha, Sa means that. That is Nisha, is Ratri, for whom Pashyataha Munehe. Pashyataha Munehe means for one who is having, the Pashyato Munehe is in Shashti Vibhakti. Pashyataha Munehe, one who is having that vision, one who is having that darshana, one vision. Okay, let us, vision is a better word. Pashyato Munehe, for one who is having that vision of Atman. So all this appears as Nisha. So that is the general meaning and also the words of this shloka. Let us read this Bhashyam. Ya Nisha Ratrihi Sarva Padarthanam Avivekakari Samaswabhavatvat Nisha Tamaswabhavatvat Nisha Swabhavatvat, Tamaswabhavatvat Nisha, Sarvesham Bhutanam Sarva Bhutanam. Same thing which we discussed. Ya Nisha Ratrihi, that which is a night for everybody. What is the characteristic or what is the quality of a night? Sarva Padarthanam Avivekakari. In night, in pitch dark, you cannot distinguish what is what. You want to go somewhere, you cannot go. You want to see something, you cannot see. Sarva Padarthanam Avivekakari means this night is something Avivekakari. That is, it is producing Aviveka in us. Avivekakari means it is producing. Avivekakaraha is say masculine. Avivekakari is feminine. Nisha is a feminine word, so he is saying Avivekakari. Avivekakari means what? It is producing Aviveka in us. That is, it renders things undistinguishable. Avivekakari means it makes or renders things undistinguishable. So that is Sarva Padarthanam Avivekakari. That is, night is something which renders things undistinguishable. That is what Tamaswabhavatvat. That is because Tamaswabhava, it very Swabhava is darkness. Tamaswabhavatvat. There is nothing strange in this. Tamaswabhavatvat. Nisha Sarvesham Bhutanam Sarva Bhutanam. For all other beings. Sarva Bhutanam is Sarvesham Bhutanam. For all the beings. Nisha is something which is Avivekakari. Something which renders every object undistinguishable, every object unknown. What is that? Kim Tat? Paramartha Tattvam. Sthita Prajnasya Vishayaha. So a Sthita Prajna, what is the subject matter or what is the topic of his concern? Sthita Prajnasya Vishaya is topic or subject or so that which concerns a Sthita Prajna. The subject matter, that is that what concerns a Sthita Prajna is Atma Tattvam, Paramartha Tattvam. Kim Tat means what is that? Paramartha Tattvam यत् स्थितप्रज्ञस्य विषयः. The Sthitaprajnasya, the wise man, his only concern is Paramatma Tattva, like the PhD mathematics. So that is something which is his concern. So that which is something like a dark, something which is inscrutable, undistinguishable, avivekakari for all others. So he is giving the same example. Yatha naktam charanam aharevasat अन्येषां निशा भवति तद्वत् नक्तं चरस्थानीयानाम् अज्ञानिनां सर्वभूतानां निशा इव निशा परमार्थतत्व अगोचरत्वात् atadbuddhinam. Okay, we'll read this sentence and complete. He is giving that example. Sthita prajnasya vishayah is paramartha tattvam. We know that Sthita prajna's subject matter he is concerned with paramartha tattva. That is something like naktam charanam aharevasat anyesham nisha bhavati. Naktam chara is something, is a nocturnal being. Naktam means night. In fact, this word naktam is very close to an old English word nighte. N-I-G-H-T, night. If you see lot many English words, if you go back to, there is what is called Old English, which was used in say about 7th, 8th, 9th century up to that time, that is called Old English. So there is some poetry in that Old English also. So long ago I happened to read some small pieces of Old English also. There, nichte, N-I-H-T-E, nichte is something naktam only. And nichte, N-I-G-H-T is again, what is N-I-G-H-T? If you pronounce G and H, it becomes a nigit. So because all those letters are silent, we are pronouncing it as night. So naktam chara, those which move in the night. So what are those things? Something like an owl. An owl is a very familiar example of a naktam chara, that which is there in the night. But for a naktam chara, daytime is something like night. An owl cannot see during the night. An owl can only see in the night. An owl cannot see during the daylight. It can only see in the night. So this light, which is Atma Jnana, it is something like a night for this naktam chara. Naktam chara is an owl. An owl cannot see this daylight. An ordinary man, he is not able to see Paramartha Tattvam. You understand the comparison? Okay, we will continue in the next class. Time is over, girl?
Yes.
Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.